Hey, wonderful people. This is going to be another car review. Obviously, I'm parked, lunch break, waiting for my lunch to get here, actually. Ordered it, and then they're going to bring it out to me. So I wanted to go over an amazing book, Hyperion. Dan Simmons wrote an amazing novel, 1989, won the Hugo Award for sci-fi. It blew my mind. I'll give you some details about it real quick. I wrote some down here. Hugo Award winning sci fi novel written 1989. It is the first book in the Hyperion Cantos. The cover that I'm showing here, it was done by Gary Rudell. Plot, we have in the 29th century, the hegemony of man comprises hundreds of planets and Farcaster portals. Farcaster portals are basically deep space travel. You connect two places, and back and forth between those 2 points travels almost instantaneous. One of the planets in the outback that does not have a Farcaster portal is named Hyperion, and it is planned to be attacked by a group of modified humans called the Ousters. Now, the Ousters don't really say why they're wanting to destroy everything, but we've come to understand that they want to destroy Hyperion because of the time tombs, which are on the planet. The time tombs are a area that is moving backwards in time. Most people think that they're moving back in time because they're showing us what eventually destroyed humanity. They are protected by a creature called the Shrike. The Shrike is this creature here that you see. He is covered in metal spikes and spines, has blades, and basically a killing machine. Think of the robot from Thor in the original Thor movie, one of the only cool parts of that movie. And then cover him in spikes and spines, and he hangs you from a tree when he kills you. Whole religion was created around the Shrike and the time tombs. The time displacement is so interesting. Like, the Shrike can manipulate time, the time tombs themselves can manipulate time. They're moving backwards in time, so we're moving backwards with them. So as you see them, they're getting younger and you're getting older. Really cool. Because of the religion of the Shrike, they would send pilgrimages to the time tombs. And most of those people never make it back, but people still want to go. Well, there's one last pilgrimage available. So we pick up, and there's this former consul who is becoming the last person in the pilgrimage. There's 7 people going on this pilgrimage. He's supposed to meet up with the great tree ship Yggdrasil and meet the rest of the people on the pilgrimage. They'll make the journey over to Hyperion and start their pilgrimage to the time tombs from there. The people that are going on this pilgrimage are a priest named Lenar Hoyt. There's a soldier, Colonel Fedman Kassad, a poet, Martin Silenus, a scholar, Saul Weintraub and his daughter, a starship captain, Het Mastine, the actual captain of the tree ship Yggdrasil, and a detective, Braun Lamia, and then the consul himself, the one that we follow. I don't think we actually learn his name. We may learn his name, but we follow his perspective. And when we get there, we understand that they might, by finding the answers that they're seeking in their pilgrimage, might find the answer to saving humanity. And so they all need to lay out what they are going there for, and they all agree to tell their story. So as they're traveling, we get their stories peppered in as they go. So all of them are traveling together. They take a break around dinner, sometimes around breakfast, sometimes, just depends, and they tell their story. So all the chapters are broken up into the different stories. You have your initial beginning where we learn, and then we travel, have the priest story, and then we do a little bit of traveling. We have the soldier story. We do a little bit of traveling. We have the poet's story. We do a little bit of traveling. We have the scholar's story. We do a little traveling, and we just keep going and going and going. The stories I loved the most were probably the priest, the scholar, and the consul when he tells his story. The detective story was really cool too. Did not like the poet. I am not a fan of the poet at all. And you learn that they all have this connection to Hyperion that we didn't know before they tell their story, and we learn about the connection they have to Hyperion and why it's so important that they go to the time tombs. Even though some of them have never visited Hyperion, we learn that they are connected to Hyperion in some way or another. I mean, we have interesting stories about AI. We have interesting stories about what happened to old Earth. We have interesting stories about what the future soldiers would look like. They bring back, the idea of the Japanese honorable system of combat. You have the modern iteration of what the Catholic Church might look like with the priest. He's a Catholic priest in the 29th century. And then the consul, his work to secure new planets into the hegemony of man and getting them connected to the main body of the government of these planets, these interconnected planets. Really, 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 really good. I doing a read along on the Discord. If you want to join, follow the link. Everything is kind of put in a spoiler tag. It is one of the coolest books I've ever read. I'm getting ready to read the second book, Fall of Hyperion, and it's usually put together in like a bind up. You have Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. I have them in separate books because that's how they originally published, and I like these covers a whole lot. The new covers has this really blue fancy looking helmet. I like the look of that, but I like the old covers better. I just like the old covers better. They're really good. It's hard to describe how good and how emotional the stories are. And I think where you are in your life, you'll be affected more by what goes on in the story. Me personally, as a father, I was really, really connected to the scholar's story because it's about him and his daughter. And then I would imagine anyone who was a soldier would really appreciate Fedman Kassad's story, the soldier's story. I don't know who would enjoy the poet's story because I didn't like it personally. The consul story was really, really cool. Personally, I was blown away by this book. 5 stars all the way across the board. I found it interesting and amazing. Even with the story of the poet that I didn't like, it's just I didn't like the poet. So he wrote a good, compelling character that I did not like. And that was probably intentional, and it hit me in exactly the way that he intended to put it. So I'm totally good with it. So if you haven't read Hyperion, go ahead and click off now. Subscribe to the channel. Join me on some more of these really good reviews. I'm going to go into spoilers right now and kind of give you my dig on what was going on here. All right, guys. This is spoiler talk. If you've read Hyperion and you want to gab with me about this one, please put it in the comments down below, and just do like spoilers in capitals, and then kind of click that, hit the enter button like 4 or 5 times so that it goes down below the reading window. Dude, the priest story was nuts with the starfish, the cross. Like, are you of the cruciform? Like, that affected me. The idea of some other civilization, like God creating, the idea of God creating other civilizations that we were not connected to initially, and then they have the same form and basis of faith that we do, with the idea of Christ and as they called it, the cruciform, where they figure in a reincarnation, and then the interconnectedness of all of these planets having these underground labyrinths that are connected, that this ancient race may have put. And the priest, the original priest, because Lenar Hoyt is reading the journal of the priest who killed himself because he could not escape from the cruciform. And then when we finally come around to it, he has not only his cruciform, but he has the other cruciform as well. Dude, the story really gets you into it. It had me ready to rip and roar. And then we go into the soldier's tale, and I was not comfortable with the amount of sex that we had in the soldier's tale, but it was really, really good as well. Like, just the idea of learning who the ousters are, the things that they do with their ships, and the prehensile tails, and man, that was really, really cool to learn about. And then seeing the Shrike fight in like double speed, killing the Farcasters, because man, it was so good, so good. And then I didn't enjoy the poet's tale, but it was cool to learn more about how he may have created the Shrike by envisioning it in his mind and making it real in his mind, and then it came into life because of what he created with his mind. That was the only cool part about the Poet's Tale for me. I know some people really like the Poet's Tale. I just thought he was so conceited and self-absorbed that he didn't deserve any respect. The Scholar, dude, the Scholar story had me crying. I was bawling my eyeballs out when he talked about losing the time with his daughter. Like losing the moments where you memories of your daughter that you have. And they waited so long late in life to have her, and she was adventurous, and she was just full of life, and you slowly see her start to disappear. As a father with a daughter, I just freak out thinking about how awful that would have been for him, how devastating it would have been for him in his life, the way that it would have slowly sapped his man. I could not imagine having my daughter grow to be an adult, fall in love, and then all of a sudden lose it and come backwards and become a child again, become a teenager again, become a child again, become a baby again, and doing it as an old man. Man, dude, the Scholar's Tale is heart-wrenching. And as you know, when the tree ship is blown up, we have the bloody room, and the starship captain, he disappears. Het Mastine, he just disappears. Like, I don't think he's dead. I think we'll see him in the next book. But and then we have the private detective, Braun Lamia. Her story was until the end, when you find out that she's pregnant with an AI's baby. Oh my gosh, she's pregnant with an AI's baby. Oh, that was cool. That was super cool, man. And then we have the Consul. Like, he didn't want to tell his tale. He didn't want to tell his tale because he was the traitor. He's told in the beginning that there's a traitor coming with you. He's the actual traitor. They're telling him, hey, you are the one. They didn't know that he was the one, but he's the one that's going to destroy everything. His grandfather, and his grandmother, and his father, and he has been a sleeper cell for his whole career. And he's treated with the outsters and treated with the man, this book's good. Oh my gosh, this book's good. Like the symbiotic relationship between the floating islands and the dolphins, so super cool. If I could find a way to write something like this, I will be an amazing author. I can't do this. I can't make you care about 5 people in 5 short stories, tie them all together. And it's not 5 short stories. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 short stories, because we don't ever get Het Mastine's story. He takes 6 short stories, ties them all together, and makes you care. It is freaking amazing. See you guys. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see some more of this, check out the Discord for the Hyperion read-along, where I'm going to start up as soon as vacation's over with the 2nd book in the series, and I am going to chat my butt off in the Discord if you want to join. Can't wait to talk to you about it there. See ya. Bye.